Ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, Jake. Hey, Nicholas. Come on in here. I hope you have your big pot of steaming coffee, because it's time for it. It's time for Coffee with Scott Adams. Oh, yeah. And if you're coming in here early enough and you're prepared enough, it's possible that you already have your cup, your mug, your stein, your chalice, your glass, your container. You have filled it with your favorite liquid. I like coffee. And join me for the simultaneous sip. Oh, that's good stuff. Okay, so here's the best story of the day. The best story of the day is CNN's reaction to President Trump denying that he is a Russian asset. Now, here's the way I was watching Anderson Cooper report on that. So the president was asked if he's essentially a Russian asset, and he said no. And here's how they reported on CNN. Can you believe we're even in this world? Can you believe the President of the United States needs to deny that he's a Russian asset? That says it all. Everything you need to know, it's right there. The President had to actually deny that he's a Russian asset. Now, what's wrong with this story? The reason the President has to deny it is not the fault of the President. The reason he has to deny this story is, do I have my shirt on backwards? No. The reason he has to deny the story is because they made it a story. So CNN creates out of nothing this accusation, and then they report that when he denies the ridiculous accusation, that the denial of a ridiculous accusation is evidence of wrongdoing. I think that's what they did, didn't they? Didn't they frame him? And then when he says, no, obviously that's not true, he says, then CNN says, can you believe it? Only this president would have to deny he's a Russian asset. Yeah, it wasn't his fault, was it? I'm pretty sure it's because the media keeps hammering on it. So I was just watching a clip of Brooke Baldwin, CNN, interviewing Max Boot, who wrote an article in the Washington Post. Now, you might know that the Washington Post does not love President Trump at the moment because he was just mocking them for the recent news about Jeff Bezos' marriage. And so Max Boot, who is, of course, a Hillary Clinton person, writes an article of the 18 reasons that President Trump might be a Russian asset. Now, if I've taught you anything, it's that the laundry list persuasion is your clearest signal of BS. All right? If they had one good reason, that's all you would see. You don't need 18 reasons if you have one good one. If you had one good one, that's just all they talk about. But their list is this whole bunch of sort of unrelated stuff. In other words, it's stuff that other people did. They're actually trying to pin on the president conversations that other people had, and we're talking, completely unrelated stuff. So when you see the weakness of the list, remember this rule, that if people have one good reason, they'll give it to you. And they'll hammer that one good reason until you're dead. But if they don't have a good reason, you're going to see the laundry list of things which are sort of in the general neighborhood, and if they were true, but you can't tell, and if something more than what is in evidence happened, and possibly, and this doesn't rule out, and you can't say it didn't happen. And it's this list of complete bullshit that they're pushing. So I think they've given up. It looks like CNN has given up on Mueller. Doesn't it seem that like that to you? Let me ask you this. If they thought Mueller was about to come up with the goods on some kind of Russia collusion, do you think that they would be this panicky? Because they're creating the news that they're reporting on. They're literally, they're making you think that the news is not them, but they're the news. Pretty much everything that's in the news is because the news has accused somebody of something they didn't do, or made something that they did that isn't that important seem like a bigger deal. So anyway, what happened with manufacturing? Max Boot was born in the Soviet Union. Is that even true? Did I see Naval's tweet? Not yet. I guess I'm going to have to go look at that because everybody keeps asking me that. Do you think Mueller writing an anti-climatic report is a misdirection? I don't know what you mean. All right, so that was the only interesting thing I saw in the news. So there's confirmation hearings for Barr, but I don't know if that'll be interesting. Will Dems ever give up their collusion narrative? No, they will not. So you can see that they're setting the stage now to retain the two-movie solution after one of them should have gone away. So it looks pretty clear that they're panicked that the whole Russia collusion narrative is going to evaporate when Mueller does his report. And I think they're setting us up for, maybe Mueller couldn't find it, but look at all these laundry list of reasons that it must be true anyway. So I think that they're going to be at odds with the Mueller report, which will be hilarious. I think I'll just get rid of whoever that is. So the Clemson dinner at the White House wasn't interesting to me. Oh, are we going to see a boxing match between Mike Cernovich and Tom Arnold? Is that really going to happen? I think somebody put some money up. I can't really see it happening. But, I've met Mike Cernovich in person, and I wouldn't want to box him. I'll tell you, if Tom Arnold really wants to box him, it would be, I think it's going to be a short fight, because Mike's pretty ripped. Anyway, that would be very funny to watch. You've heard of Andrew Yang yet? I have not. So I tweeted out 3 links on the question of climate change, which all, of course, conflict with each other and are impossible, pretty much impossible to sort out for non-scientists. So I'm letting people wrestle with that a little bit and see if I can learn anything. I'm just looking at your comments now. Is it... Yes, Tulsi Gabbard is getting destroyed by her own side. So I'm still waiting to see who will be the preferred candidate for CNN, because that's all that matters. CNN will effectively decide who your Democratic nominee is. Now, you might think it's someone else, but it's really not. because whoever CNN decides to support, and I suppose MSNBC's in there, but they'll probably get on the same team at some point. I don't think it'll be Biden. Now, what about Julian Castro? Now, here's the most interesting thing about Julian Castro. First of all, he can deliver Texas, perhaps, which would be the difference between winning and losing. So he's got a strong, natural base, both in Texas as well as, would he get most of the Hispanic vote? Probably so. So he's a pretty strong candidate. But here's what's interesting: he has an identical twin. Could you imagine being, who was in the Congress as well? Can you imagine being Julian Castro's identical twin if Julian became president? If you were the identical twin of the President of the United States and you just went to the mall and you went shopping, what would happen? This is a serious question. Would the identical twin have to have full Secret Service protection if his brother became president? I think he might, right? Because the real president of the United States couldn't really just walk down the street. It would be too dangerous. There'd be, somebody would try something. So if he's got an identical twin who literally looks like him, I haven't seen them. I assume they, if their haircuts are the same, etc. But the identical twin is going to have to grow a beard or something, because if you walk down the street, people would say, "That's the president of the United States. I hate his politics. Get him." So that's funny. And here's the better part: would there be any rule against the nominee picking his twin brother as his vice president? What if Julian Castro selected literally his twin brother to be his vice president? You would probably say to yourself, well, in terms of character, same guy. In terms of background and demographics, same guy. And in terms of government experience, well, he's a congressperson, right? The brother is an experienced politician for a major state, Texas. There's nothing that would stop him from running with his twin brother. Which would be fun. Somebody says it's not legal. Is that true? Is there any law against having your brother be your... there was no rule about Kennedy making his brother his attorney general. Castro brothers have ruled before. Yeah, that Castro name might work against him. Okay. Can't be from the same state. Oh, is that true? Huh. I never knew that. I need confirmation of that, but could be. I did not see a speech in which Van Jones said something about Hillary. Is that new? That doesn't sound like it's something new. Oh, so Laura Loomer, I haven't seen the video, but apparently Laura Loomer went to Nancy Pelosi's wall. And what did she do? Bring some illegals and try to have them climb her wall or something? I didn't know what happened, but I'm going to catch up on that today. So that will be fun. Who's winning the government shutdown? Well, I would say that the public is largely not caring. So most of the public has thrown their fellow citizens under the bus on this. If you think about it, the public doesn't really care about the 800,000 people not getting paid. They only care if their team wins. So I think the public of the United States has proven that we're all a bunch of bastards. Because I haven't seen any citizens care about 800,000 of their fellow citizens suffering from this. It just doesn't even seem to be a topic. All right, I got nothing else to say, so I'm going to keep it short, and I've got to talk to you later. Bye for now.